President Trump's border crackdown yielding major results. Border crossings plummeting to record lows in June. 25,000 total nationwide encounters recorded and just over 8,000 apprehensions. These are the lowest numbers in recorded CBP history. The Trump administration may also reopen Alcatraz as a federal prison, including housing illegal migrants who have committed crimes. Attorney General Pam Bondi and Interior Secretary Doug Burgum touring the facility yesterday. Here's White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt.
This was an idea of the president. He spoke about it in May, and he directed his administration to review a reopening plan for Alcatraz if it is possible, which is why the Attorney General and the Secretary of Interior have traveled there today. And just to follow up, Libby, on who the president wants to see housed in Alcatraz, the worst of the worst criminals in this country, both American criminals who convict heinous crimes, but also illegal alien criminals before deportation as well.
Well, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem in talks with 5 other Republican governors about building their own versions of the migrant detention center in Florida, known as Alligator Alcatraz. I want to bring in White House border czar Tom Homan. Tom, good morning. It's always great to speak with you, sir. The work that you're doing is incredible. And congratulations on the lack of apprehensions. I mean, to see these new numbers come from CBP is, I think, such a comfort to many Americans. What do you make, though, of this idea of Alcatraz in San Francisco becoming a place for illegals to be housed before they're deported?
Well, first of all, let me give credit to the most secure border in the history of this nation, to President Trump, his leadership, his executive orders, and the men and women of the Border Patrol, the 20,000 men and women standing on that front line every day, 24/7. So God bless them. They're out there doing America's work. Look, I'm with the president. I mean, we need detention beds. Thank goodness we got the big, beautiful bill passed, because right now we got about 59,000 in custody. But this morning I woke up, we got less than 400 beds available, 400 empty beds right now. We'll fill them, by noon. So we're constantly chasing our tail, trying to get as many removal flights as possible to clear up some more beds, so we can continue arresting the worst of the worst. So I'm with the president. We need the beds. We got to get the 100,000 beds, maybe even more. We have the money to do it. So we can't rest. We got to get out there right now, get as many beds as we can, as many transportation contracts as we can, both over the ground and in the air, and as many contractors as we can, and boots on the ground. Yeah. So we're not waiting. We're moving quickly.
Well, California's Alcatraz is a popular tourist attraction. I do want to say it, and I did hear Secretary Bondi say that basically or the Attorney General, that it would be expensive to switch it over. But what do you make of this idea of these other states that could do something similar to what they've done in Florida, which is Alligator Alcatraz? I mean, this facility was created very quickly, and many lawmakers have been down there. They said that it is safe. It is not, all of these, the Democrats yelling and saying it was going to be dangerous. It is not. But this is a way. What other states would you like to see give you the beds that you need to make sure that these deportations are carried out successfully and quickly?
I would like every state to step up, but they won't. I mean, I think the red states know that that's a place where we can have facilities, and the states have an interest in this too, because they got to understand criminal aliens are in every state in this country. MS-13 is now in every state in this country. TDA is in 41 states in this country. The border problem under Joe Biden wasn't just a Texas and Arizona problem. 97% of those across the border didn't stay in Texas and Arizona. They're in every city in this country. So we'd like every state to step up. So Governor DeSantis led on that. It's a great facility, and we'll build facilities that are at our detention standards. And if you look at the ICE detention standards, go to ice.gov and look at detention standards. We have the highest detention standards in the industry. I'll compare our detention standards to any state or federal facility in the country.
Well, I want to move to another issue with regards to the border, because ICE agents are facing a staggering, and we've talked about it this week on the program, 830% increase in assaults over the last year. Democratic lawmakers and state leaders are still pushing for legislation to unmask these ICE officers, even as agents are saying that they're being doxxed. Their families are being put in danger. These are documented threats against people trying to do their jobs. And Fox News' very own Matt Finn interviewed an ICE agent whose personal information was posted online. Watch what he told Matt.
my 3 kids, and she doesn't have the ability to protect herself like I do. Every night before my family goes to sleep, I sit with them, tell them everything's going to be okay. When they do end up falling asleep, I take it upon myself to walk around our house to make sure all the cameras are working, check everything, make sure it's powered up, and that's become the unfortunate routine now.
What do you make that, Tom? I mean, you've spoken about having to live apart from your family because you've had a barrage of death threats, but it's happening to these agents as well.
Like I do, I have 9 cameras on one house, 11 cameras on the other. But bottom line is, I'm the border czar. So I expect that. But the men and women who are out there serving this nation every day, 3 o'clock this morning, maybe you're not, but while most of us are sleeping, the men and women of ICE are out there in surveillance trying to arrest the worst public safety threats and national security threats. We're at a point now with those who enforce the law, the bad guys, and those who broke the law, the victims. And you're exactly right. Members of Congress have emboldened people on the left, the nuts, now are emboldened. If if a member of Congress can compare ICE to a terrorist group or to the Nazis, then I have the right to attack them and attack their families. So the members of Congress need to stop the rhetoric, because I said 2 months ago, if this rhetoric continues, there'll be bloodshed, and I was right. Unfortunately, I was right. A man was killed trying to attack a Border Patrol facility in Texas. In the same week, they tried to ambush ICE agents at a facility in El Dorado, Texas. And it's not over. We're going to see more of this unless the rhetoric stops. ICE is enforcing the laws that Congress enacted. If Congress doesn't like what ICE is doing, then change the law. They're not making this up. And as far as the other people ICE is arresting, they're arresting people that federal immigration judges ordered removed. Their job is to execute those orders. ICE is doing their job, making America safe every day. So the rhetoric needs to stop.
Doing their job. Very well said. Before you go, 5 Iranian nationals and 2 Uzbekistani nationals are all under arrest for trying to cross the northern border illegally. They've been detained. They're awaiting deportation, Tom. You've been warning about Iranian sleeper cells in the U.S.
And look, I'm glad they're apprehended. Another good thing about the big, beautiful bill, we can put more resources on that northern border. We don't have enough resources. We don't have enough boots on the ground. We don't have enough technology. I've been working with the leadership of Canada about how we can better secure that border. The big, beautiful bill will give us more boots on the ground, more technology, and Canada's offering to make that border solid from the north-south. So we're working with them. We'll see where it goes, but all attention's on the northern border, and we understand that that's a vulnerability.
Tom, before you go, I have to say that, at 4 o'clock this morning, I was in Times Square, going through Times Square, coming to work. And you know what I saw for the first time in probably 3 years? Tourists walking around Times Square. Not Venezuelan gang members, Trinidad. I saw tourists enjoying the city of New York. That's because of the southern border being closed and the ICE agents, these men and women that are doing their job. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. Tom Homan.
You got it.
All right. Thank you, sir. We'll see you soon.